If your Champions League routine feels like déjà vu, get ready for a game-changing twist. UEFA's bold new format kicks off with 36 teams instead of 32. Say goodbye to the old group stage and hello to the Swiss system, a dynamic league phase where each team plays 8 matches. This means more games, more drama, and a higher chance for underdog stories to unfold. With more top teams, expect superstar showdowns and dream matchups from the get-go. The road to glory just got more intense, with a revamped knockout stage that promises edge-of-your-seat excitement. Fans, you're in for a treat with diverse opponents and the birth of new rivalries. And let's not forget the financial boost. More games mean increased revenue, even giving smaller clubs a shot at the big time. Of course, not everyone's thrilled critics worry about the impact on domestic leagues. But one thing's for sure, this new format is set to make history. So gear up and get ready to witness the future of European football. Don't miss a single moment of the Champions League revolution.
Off to determine who reaches the last 16 of the competition. The biggest bone of contention has been regarding qualification though, and the rumoured historic wildcards that were expected to protect underperforming clubs with European pedigree. That proposal has changed. Now, 2 of the extra 4 qualifying slots will be awarded to nations whose clubs achieve the best collective performance during the season before. To work this out, the total points earned will be divided by the number of sides competing in European club competitions. This is a notable move away from the heavily criticised plan to employ 5-year historical coefficients. As a working example, if the new rules had been applied to the 2021-22 season, the 2 extra places would have gone to clubs from England and the Netherlands. In 4 of the past 5 campaigns, in fact, a team in the Premier League would have received one of those additional slots. In theory, it means that the Premier League could end up with a total of 7 teams in the Champions League due to the coefficient spot awarded on performance, plus the previous season's Champions League and Europa League winners if they aren't already qualified through league position. It's highly unlikely, but it could happen. In another change, clubs from the same country will now be able to play against each other in the early knockout stages. Domestic clashes are currently blocked until the quarter-final, but that will no longer be the case. And despite suggestions to the contrary, there are no plans yet to scrap 2-legged semi-finals or move the competition's final 4 to a single host city. Those changes may come in the future, but not in time for this round of restructuring. We are convinced that the format chosen strikes the right balance, that it will improve the competitive balance and generate solid revenues that can be distributed to clubs, leagues and into grassroots football across our continent, said UEFA President Alexander Ceferin in early May. And there's plenty of reason for enthusiasm. The Premier League will be delighted that they're almost guaranteed to have 5 Champions League places instead of 4. You would also expect Spain, Germany and Italy to be relatively satisfied with the new format, as the second extra spot is likely to end up going to either La Liga, the Bundesliga or Serie A. And having seen a worst-case scenario of historic wildcards, big club greed and the erosion of domestic football calendars avoided, Kevin Miles, Chief Executive of the Footballers Supporters Association, welcomed the decision. Supporters have been consistent in their arguments against any expansion of European competition that would eat into domestic football and attack our principles of sporting merit. While any increase in the number of games is a step in the wrong direction, it appears that fans' input into the dialogue with UEFA has not been in vain. But that's not to say that everyone is happy. There is a school of thought that UEFA were only listening to the Premier League and La Liga when it came to ditching the 10-game league phase and reducing it to 8 matches. France's Ligue 1 wanted 10 games and not club coefficients. They wrote to UEFA and the European Club Association to say that is why they reduced their domestic league to 18. They anticipated the increase in European games. They also wanted one of the 2 extra places to be given to a domestic champion from a mid-sized league and the other one to the 5th biggest league, so it had 4 spots, like the top 4 leagues. At the moment, the 5th best league is Ligue 1. So it essentially boils down to every league being greedy and wanting more. But the new format will offer balance and should encourage teams playing in any of UEFA's 3 club competitions to go as far as possible and earn coefficient points for their country, thereby maximising their own chances of qualification and progress. Whether that will happen, of course, remains to be seen, as does the means by which the revenues for the 2024-27 cycle will be split, with negotiations